If you're a fractional leader and you're still doing your own admin, managing your own calendar, writing every follow up email, posting your own content, this episode is probably going to hit home for you. One of the biggest gaps I see in our space is this, that we are excellent operators inside other people's businesses. But inside our own practice, we try to do everything ourselves. We delay hiring. We think support is a cost. We tell ourselves we'll do it when things settle down. They never do. Welcome to the Fractional Practice Podcast. I am Jag Jassel, founder of fractionalpractice.com. We help fractional leaders build a structured fractional practice so that they can win new logos, keep clients longer, and charge more for the work they do. In this episode, I sat down with Francesca Moi from Empowering Virtual Solutions to unpack a question that many fractional leaders quietly struggle with. When should I hire support? We talk about what actually needs to be delegated first, how business development fits into the equation, and the mistakes people make when they hire too late or hire without a structure. We also get into the real concerns: control, security, letting go, and what delegation really unlocks, not just in your business, but in your life. If you are building a serious fractional practice, this conversation matters. Let's get into it. Welcome, Francesca. Good to have you here.
Hello, Jag. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited for today.
The reason for this call is I really wanted to have a conversation with you on this platform because all of our tribe are fractional practitioners. And biggest issue I've seen happening is not many people are good delegators. They are operators in somebody else's business. So I thought it'll be a good idea to have this conversation. So before we go further, it'll be a good idea to introduce yourself. You want to take a bit of time and introduce what do you do?
Yes, my name is Francesca Moi, and I've been in business for now 11 years. And I started delegating because I was not good of a lot of stuff. And I started to receive complaint of people saying that I wasn't following through, that I wasn't holding on my promise. And I felt horrible because my word. So I had to start delegating and getting virtual assistants to do the work for me. And I realized that they were doing it better than me. So other people started to ask me, where do you find these VAs? So we started 11 years ago to help people find virtual assistants from the Philippines. And that grew into a quite big business in the last 3.5 years. We created a company separated from my other businesses that I had. And it's been amazing. We've got 84 virtual assistants now, helping other businesses grow while they focus on the vision of the business.
That's awesome. Thank you for coming. I think one of the biggest thing I've seen is, and it's a starting step for every kind of practitioner, that they always say that, hey, when does it actually make sense to start thinking about or start hiring an EA?
Look, this is a very difficult question because it's how long is a piece of string? So someone like me, I say do it before you need it, because what happens is that people wait and wait and wait until they either got the time or they've got the cash flow or they've got the SOPs ready. They keep waiting. And I say do it, and then you sort out all the things while you got the virtual assistants, because it's never gonna be the perfect time. And if we keep waiting, what is going to happen is we're going to get busier and busier and busier, which means we're going to have less time for us to train and spend time with someone to learn the tasks properly so they can actually take it off us. When people ask me when, yesterday is the right answer, because the more they wait, the more complicated that will become and the more tangled up that task will become in their head. And so it's going to be really difficult for someone to untangle it all because it's going to be part of other things. So actually, the best time is to get started and get someone straight with you to help you create the SOPs, to help you create structure, to help you create automations or anything that is needed for us to really have more time on the business, not in the business.
Yeah, can you describe me a few of the tasks? Like, for example, I've never think about practitioners, fractional leaders who kind of now the operators, right? And they work for somebody else in a different portfolios, and most of them are operators. They actually go out and work with other businesses. What are the few things you believe that they can start thinking about delegation? Delegating.
Look, I've been thinking about this question for
Yeah.
your audience for a while since we spoke last time. And I was thinking, look, I know that sometimes there is privacy things, so they cannot have a virtual assistant live on a Zoom call, or they cannot record the call, and that's all good. So what I would do is that as soon as the call is finished, is everything fresh in the practitioner head. So I would say jump straight into a call the VA, send a voice message, whatever it is, but download everything that is in your brain into a recorded message to the VA. The VA will then transcribe it, put it in ChatGPT, and create an email to send to that client, and then put it in the draft of the practitioner. The practitioner can check it and send it and draft it and edit it if they want to. But at least that will save already quite a lot of time, rather than the practitioner having to type all of that. Be able to really follow up on those, put things in the calendar, and help them support them with the structure, with the day, with the everything they need to do. Literally, what is funny about when people tell me in my industry is different, I'm the one that needs to be doing this, nobody else can do
Yeah,
quotes.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
what we say is, look, even if someone can help you do 50% of that one task, if that task takes you an hour and the VA does half an hour, and now you have to do only half an hour, it's time saved. And your time is way more valuable, right? Your time is probably about $200, $300, $500 per hour. So doing an admin task or a $20 per hour task on a $500 wage is a waste of time.
Yeah, I think this is the language most people understand this in our industry, that, they're charging good amount of money, and
Yes.
because they're charging good amount and they kind of spending, I don't know, $500 an hour doing admin work. That's very good insight, that start thinking from that perspective.
Yes. So I usually say, like, think about hiring a person at your same wage for $500 an hour. So you're hiring someone else, $500 an hour. Would you get them to do admin? Would you get them to manage their own calendar? Would you get them to script emails or do quotes or whatever that needs to be done? So I usually say to people like that, I value their time, right? The time is really important. And sometimes they don't value their own time because they are so good at what they do that they think it's really hard to pass it to someone else. So it's faster if I do it. But is it? And is it cheaper to actually do it? So look, I don't mean to be rude and disrespectful to anybody. Like, I know that people are valuable and I know that people have got knowledge, but I haven't met so far anybody that cannot delegate. And I have not met any task that cannot be delegated, at least 40% of it, right? So
Yeah.
that was the time.
I believe that, just because, the example you mentioned earlier, you talked about, delegating the meeting and prescribing or emailing the meeting. But what I believe is one of the things which is really useful for this tribe is start thinking about business development work as well. Like,
Yeah.
business development work is, I would say, 50 or 80% of the work can be outsourced to an EA to run with it, rather than trying to, put a post together yourself, publishing it on different social platforms, emailing. All that is a really big piece of work. And what I've seen is, and it's really bad in the industry today, right now, most people don't like to do business development work at all. Like,
Yeah.
they don't. And the way they're getting customers right now in our industry is just they had previous connections and they just kind of work in that sort of space. The moment that disappears, they don't have anything. I think that would be really useful as well. Can you look into that and sort of give me a couple of examples, other than what I sort of talked about, from a business development perspective? What are the things which people can outsource?
Yeah, absolutely. I have clients that actually open my mind because sometimes we don't realize our own limitations, right? So I was like, look, I can get VS to do everything, but business development, I need to do it. I need to be the one going out there. I need to want to create relationships. I need to do all of that. And then this client of mine said to me, what are you talking about? The VA that you found me, she's doing business development for me. And I was like, what is she doing? And this gentleman just literally break it down for me. So the VA goes in something called Apollo, and it's like a platform. And she starts to find the leads, the right people to have conversation with, send a series of email, book a call, and then the client will jump on a call. And then he said, look, sometimes they're not the right people, but sometimes they are. And I got some really good clients from that process. Then they go are doing outreach on LinkedIn. So they do a lot of posting for the client on LinkedIn, and they start to do outreach into, again, booking a call. The client needs to be available for doing those calls. But again, out of 10, they get 2 clients, and like, it's worth it. I'll do it. And then the other thing that they do is often email marketing, lead generation. So create a PDF with some value, create knowledge or a video series, whatever it is, together obviously with the client. And then they start to put it out there in social media, in different platforms. Again, they can share that in Apollo. And then with that, they start to create a lead generation. So they start to fill up a database of emails. And then they start to create newsletters and value posts and value blogs to be able to start to generate some leads. And the amazing VA was doing that, opened my mind. I was like, oh goodness, I didn't know that was possible. They also do blogs for with SEOs to really start to get some traction on the website. And again, like, sometimes we think it's not possible to get someone to do all of the things. And it's really interesting. What is funny, out of that, then we have also some in the Philippines that are also able to pick up the phone and do cold calling. So once they generate all these leads, then they start to call and start to build that relationship and then book a final call with the client. So that's another thing that I didn't think it was possible.
Yeah, that's a good point. There are a few things from a business development perspective and also technical things as well. Like, looking after the website, putting a post in can be a really valuable things. And I think most people don't understand it. And I feel that's the big mindset shift. People need to have that when they kind of work for somebody else, they are an employee. Most of the work kind of gets done through their employment. But when they start their own practice, when they come out of that, now they have 4 or 5 portfolios. There's a lot of other things other than the delivery work they have to do, and they're kind of not ready for that. And at least some of them are not even aware of that, that these are the things need to be delegated or these are the things need to be done. But delegation makes heaps of sense. Have somebody helping you do all that work. At least the work gets done, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And then it's a matter of working together, right, with a virtual assistant, or make it happen, to make it work, to have a look at the data. And obviously we need to support them through that journey, but they also keep us accountable in doing that.
Yeah.
And that's really important as well. If I didn't have my VA booking a call with me, it's already in my calendar. I have to jump in. And then on the call, they give me a script. I copy the script. I put it on my phone. There is an app called and so I just put it inside of the teleprompter, and then I'll just put it like in a little holder here, and I've got a microphone, and she watches me, right? She's on Zoom helping me, and she said, okay, go. And I start to read it. Well, the teleprompter, 3 minutes later, I've got a video done. And then it goes back to her. Then I'll save it on the drive. And then she does the edits, she puts the subtitles, and that's a reel that goes on social media. And we get a lot of business from that because adding value, right?
It is. It is. Look, I'll give you that example, which your VA did it, right? A couple of times what happens is, we booked a call and I didn't have the link ready to jump on this call, and your VA kind of followed up a couple of times and made sure that there is a link available. We are ready, sending the calendar invite, all that. It's bits and pieces, but just following up again and again, making sure it's there. Otherwise, what would have happened is you and I are jumping on this call, no link is available, or, delaying that. It sort of looks very unprofessional as well.
Yes.
That it's not there, it's not ready, we are not there. So I think that makes sense as well.
Yeah.
Just a simple task of following up with people.
Look, a role of a EA is to think for us, is to make our life easy, right? So my EA also does, which I absolutely love. She books meetings for me, or networking events, or places where I can go and gather business, right? Or a coffee with a potential client, all of that. So, and she manages everything. She finds the place, she makes sure that it's open, she makes sure we don't need to book. And it gives me also in the calendar invite, there is part for the other person. If you're coming with a car, there's no parking around. So make sure that you book it. This is a link. Like literally think for me. Because and it's not because I cannot do it. Obviously I could do it. But the thing is, when I have to think about that, then my brain is wasted thinking of logistics when my brain should be in vision all the time. So when I'm free and everything is taken care of for me, like to the things that my EA even helped me with my personal bills. She put in my calendar, this needs to be paid, click the link, I go, it's done. Everything is done. We work it out in a way that I don't have to think about anything day to day. And I only have to focus on the vision of the business. And this is real estate. My brain and your brain, right? Our brain is real estate. If I fill it up with all little things and things that are really not important for the day to day, for the growth of the business, then I don't have much space left to vision, to think, to strategize, to all those things. And so it's really valuable for me as a CEO to be able to identify what are the things that I shouldn't be doing that are actually creating chaos inside of my real estate brain, and what are the things so then I should delegate, and what are the things that I should keep, that those things are going to add value to the business, therefore grow it. And so it's very difficult to let it go, but
Yeah, absolutely.
once you start, it's actually so much fun, Jag. I
Yeah.
love it. Like right now, I'm going in 2 weeks with a friend of mine to Sydney. She found an event that is actually very good for us. So me and my friend are going together. We're both in business. And my EA found us accommodation, send us into an email to say, I found this and this and that, can you guys choose? So like my friend was with me, was like, I love that. Like that's the lifestyle that I want. And then I said to her, should we do something on Thursday night that we're free? She goes, yeah, I don't have time to look for things. I'm like, don't worry, my EA will do it. So my EA now is looking for concerts and musicals to go while in Sydney. Like, again, it's lifestyle. Sometimes it's not just about the delegation of the task, is also about the lifestyle. Like let someone take care of you so that you can take care of your clients even better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is gold, like what you just talked about. People are busy, and I think they start thinking just from a business perspective, or just the emails I have to do, or maybe the invoices, I can just do it myself. What you just described is absolutely gold, because people need to start thinking about having somebody to think through on their behalf.
Yes.
Rather than just, keeping everything internally, trying to pay your own personal bills, trying to have the logistics sorted, like hotels and accommodation, the restaurants.
Yes.
Where do I take my girlfriend, wife for dinner? Like all those sort of stuff matters, right?
Absolutely. And then you look the best husband ever and they're like, oh my gosh, my EA did it all.
I know, right? It's pretty cool. Like these are things I think people need to start thinking about it.
Yes.
And we need to I feel that we need to stop treating business and life separately. Like it's just makes sense to have it one thing together, so everybody kind of understand it. That's where the EA comes in.
Yeah.
And
I think it comes down to really have the self-value about ourselves, right? Learning about, okay, if I am worth $500 an hour and I can make that money, then every minute that I spend is worth money. Like I shouldn't be wasting it into doing an invoice. Like even if it takes 2 minutes, that 2 minutes is still money, and it's still money that I can save when someone else can do it for me. It's like just the little thing that we need to really value. The moment that we value our time, the moment that we respect our time, because something we cannot get back.
yeah, absolutely.
That is one thing that is for sure for everybody, right? We've got 24 hours a day and we need 7-8 hours of sleep if we're healthy, right? So then you cannot stretch. Right? I had at one time, was a girlfriend of mine. She was growing a really big property management company, and she had 200 units, and she was so happy. And I said, let's go for dinner and you tell me about it. And she said, oh, no. Tuesday night is my night that I do bookkeeping. I sit down in front of Netflix and I do bookkeeping until 11 p.m. And I said, and how productive are you the day after? Oh, the day after I'm usually exhausted. Then is it really worth it? Like, just get a bookkeeper. Like, you can get one in the Philippines that is quite cheap. You can get one in Australia, whatever. But that money will be worth it. Just delegate it. Oh, but I don't mind it. It's like, but it's not about what you like, what you don't like. It's about what your business need. Your business need you to be focused on vision, on strength, not on doing admin tasks that you could delegate. And
Yeah.
even if you like it, I'm sorry, but you're wasting your time.
Yeah, absolutely. So you probably have seen a lot of businesses now, in that space where they started to think about, they hire somebody, in the first few months. Talk me, what are the mistakes you probably have seen people make when they hire their very first EA?
Look, what I find really interesting is that we have a process that we get people into a call and we say, okay, let's work out exactly the job description. What do you want this person to do? And you know what I get answered every single time? Well, it depends on what they can do.
Yeah.
And I
Or
said,
what they can
no,
do. Okay.
no, 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 no. We are going to find you the person that you need. But if you're not clear on what you want, we're never going to find that person. Oh, but it depends on what they can do. I'm like, no, no, no. But what do you need to delegate? So let's go through your day, your week, your months. What are the things that you're doing that we can pass? And so we literally sit down for 45 minutes with clients and go through it, because most people, Jag, it would be very surprising. They will say always that to me. Like, let's depend on what they do. So one of my coaches years ago, it was about 10 years ago, she said to me, you're making a big mistake in your business. And thank goodness that they told me that, because it was huge. She said, you are adapting the description of the job description to the people that you have already in your team, rather than saying, these are the job description that my business need. These are the positions that my business need. These are the tasks that each position should do. And do I have the right people in the team? If not, I should let them go and find the person that can do all of those things. Instead, what I used to do is like, okay, I get my first VA to do a little bit of everything. And then I get a second VA to take the things that she's not good at and give it to someone else. But then this person is doing some things, this person does things, and it becomes a tangle that is a mess. And so if we can start from the beginning to be like, okay, what are the things that I need? EA role. So I need emails, I need calendar, I need personal bills, I need, right? So we just make it like emails. I need a little bit of maybe marketing. And we said, okay, let's make, this is the list. Even if it's still mixed up with different departments, it's okay. It's okay. Well, at least we're clear. This is what we want. So we're going to find someone that is got very good skills on being detailed, because it's the EA role, right? They need to make sure that they know numbers. They know how to help you and support you into being tidy and structured. They know how to reply to emails, but they need to have a little bit of marketing as well. Now, are they going to be amazing at everything? Probably they're going to be stronger on the details part, but they can do a little bit of marketing to just get you started. As the business grows and as you save time so that you can go and get more business, right? Then we start to look into taking the marketing part away into a person that can just do and focus on marketing. So then the EA role becomes a strong executive role where they're going to do all the things, reply to all your emails. Now they're strong in that. So that's a full-time role. And then we have a marketing role that is strong. So we just need to be clear.
Yeah.
First thing, right? If we are clear, then we can find the right person.
Yeah, that's a good point. How do you deal with the control and security and privacy in that sort of space? Because a lot of people sort of talk about, I need to have control, I need to do all this, and you
Yes.
probably have seen that in your space as well.
Yes.
Because when you work at that position for such a long period of time, it's really hard to let go.
Yes, absolutely.
And a lot of people have been, doing this for 20, 25 years now,
Yes.
and they have tons of experience. They have probably hired one or never directly hired anybody to work with.
Yes.
And I find it really strange. And they have years been given by the employment. They probably had it in the past, but they never done it for themselves. How do you tackle that?
Look, we're very lucky nowadays. We're in 2026. There is so many tools and platforms out there that are thinking of that for us. So we're lucky. Years ago, when I first started hiring VAs, there was none of that. So I just had to pray that everything will go okay. Now we have things in place that we can actually use. One of them is 1Password or LastPass. So instead of giving our passwords that is gold to someone in the Philippines that we don't know what's going to happen to the computer, we are securing all the passwords in something called LastPass or 1Password, which are platforms that really help business owners keep hold and keep the password silent and secured and safe and private, but the VA can still have access to it. There is another thing that obviously we got an IT person that helps all our clients with that as well, so we can support. We put an authenticator code for every platform that is got important sensitive information. So when the VAs are logging in using the one password, so they don't see the password, then it will generate a code and then the client can send it to the VA. Now, we use this only for the really important platforms, because if not, it's going to be quite tricky for the VAs to do a lot of the work day to day. But if all the passwords are in one password, we're not sharing and saving the password in our own computer, that's already a really big step. We put an antivirus inside of our virtual assistant computers as well. So if someone is hiring directly, make sure that you get an IT person to don't go on the computer, check that it does already know any virus or any scam already targeting that computer,
Yeah.
and they can do that from the back end and put some security in place. So we do that, obviously being an agency, but if some people want to go direct hiring someone, make sure that you take those steps. And then we have obviously agreements with the virtual assistants as well, that their computer is only going to be used for work, because how a lot of hackers go into computers with games and with, like a kid is playing something and click on something and all of a sudden is hacked.
Yeah.
We need to put some procedures in place to make sure that the person working for us offshore, they will follow those procedures to make sure that it's safe. Look, touch wood, we've been around for 3.5 years. We got one client that got hacked once, and that's because it wasn't following our strategy. Unfortunately, they send the VA all the passwords in a Word document.
Ooh.
Too easy to hack, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you follow the strategy, thank goodness nobody else got hacked. So we know it's quite strong.
Oh, that's good. So let's talk about the onboarding process. How does that look like? Like, if I'm sort of thinking about, okay, now I kind of know that, some of the things I can delegate, some of the things I can actually, talk to, I want to have an EA. How does that onboarding process look like? Talk to me about the first 30 days.
Yes.
What is that process?
Look, one of the most important thing is before we hiring is the clarity that I was talking about before, right? Once we are clear on what they actually need, what the job description is, then
let's look at an example of this, right? So
yes.
I want to do an EA, which is about 20% my personal things, 20% client meeting setup, follow up, and all that, and then the rest of the ones I want to do somebody to do a business development for me, like put a post up on LinkedIn.
Perfect.
Or do all that sort of work. Let's look that as an example.
Okay, perfect. So once we've got that clarity, then we'll take the work away and we go and find all the candidates. We shortlist them. We do a personality test, because it's not just about the task, but it's also about, can you actually work together long term and support one another? So we do all of that for our clients. But then if you don't go through us, you have to do a personality test and put it in ChatGPT and get it to analyze it to make sure that that's the right person in the right role, in the right company, and under the right management, right? So all of those three things are viable. Once we got the right candidate, then we're going to do a handover. So after we do the interview and all that, and this person, we do a handover. So the handover, most important part, because we don't want to be like, hi, welcome new staff member. If it's local, doesn't matter, it's the same.
Yeah.
We don't want to be like,
do I get a chance to interview people, like 2 or 3 people, or how does that work?
Our clients don't have time usually to do that.
Okay.
They don't want to deal with that. They usually say, find me the right 1 or 2 people, and I want to go with them. So I have never found someone that wants more, but if they do, we can do that, no problem at all. Usually people don't have time, so they want us, we've been doing it for a while, to just take that from them. So then once we have found the right person and the client is happy with that person and everything looks good, then we do a handover. So the handover, what it means, is the most important part, because what happens a lot of the time is that client is like, now I've got a VA. How? What do I do? What's next? So in that handover, we have also a supervisor that has been with us for 8 to 9 years. So they know the process. And we help the clients to go through the same checklist of all the tasks they want the VA to do and divide that in 3 phases. So phase 1 will be the first month. What are the things that are really on your shoulder that if you have that off in the next month, it will make you breathe a little bit? So we talk with the client and we choose which one are the tasks that are not the most complicated one, but they are constant, right? They are the ones that need to be passed. And usually is emails, Usually it's calendar, right? Usually we start with that. So we teach the VA those tasks for the first month. We just focus on that. So we get the VA to go through all the emails, read the past emails, read all the emails that we have the client has written in the past, and start to create templates, start to create processes to be like, okay, when I notice that when the client said this and this and this is how we answer, and this is, and we use ChatGPT to help us to create some processes, to create some templates that we can use in the future so that we can speed up the processes. So the VAs will start to study, analyze your emails, your calendar, start to tidy it up, sometimes clients have got 20,000 unread email, right? Unsubscribe. Obviously, they're not going to do anything without the client permission. So I usually recommend to create folders on the side to be like, these are the emails that I would unsubscribe. These are the emails that I would file away. These are the emails, right? And they put them away. And then they do a meeting with the client to be like, this is what I would do with this email. Do you agree? Can I go? Yes. So especially at the beginning, we need to have those touch points to make sure that they are on the same page, and then that's what the client wants. Once the virtual assistant has got the hangs of the first phase, which usually can take about a month if it's big, depends how big that whole process is. Once all of that is done, then we're passing into phase 2. And phase 2 means we're going to do all the second task. So it could be a part of the social media. It could be to record some videos, right? And we start to move phase 2. What I've noticed though, that when people do it like this and they take it easy and they take it slow, the VAs are amazing. They can actually get the hangs of it. They can take over. They can really help the person save time in like a matter of 2 to 3 weeks. Like they become amazing. What happens is sometimes when we waited too long to get a virtual assistant, we're already drowning. Get excited and we get the first virtual assistant. And after a couple of weeks, we're like, you're doing good. This is great. Hey, can you also do this? Hey, can you also do that? Hey, and all of a sudden, we're starting to go outside from the job description because we got excited. I've done that. That's why I know this perfectly. I've done that multiple times. And then the VA all of a sudden has got a huge tasks, more than what we thought that she could do in the 40 hours or 20 hours. And so now the VA is overwhelmed, start to drop the ball on the thing that she was doing good the first 2 weeks, start to lose control. The client start to get frustrated. The VA gets scared. The client get complaining, and it creates a mess. So the hardest thing for people usually is to just hold your horses, know that this person will be a lifesaver in the next 3 months. Tony Robbins says that. We underestimate what we can do in a year, and we overestimate what we can do in a month, right? So it's like, take it easy, one at a time, and then in a year time, you'll be the happiest person with time saved. But the first couple of months, let this person get used to your business, coach them, support them, do touch points like every day for 15 minutes at the beginning of your day. It's going to be such a good build up of relationship and of understanding each other. Like even with my EA, I now meet her. She's been with me nearly a year. I meet her now about 2-3 times a week on a Zoom for 15 minutes. And I love it. She comes in and she's like, okay, FM, she's got a document. I've got these 10 questions for you. Let's go through them one at a time. First one, this person emailed you. They wanted this. What do I do? Okay, do this. Okay, thank you. This person, like this event, do you want to go? Okay, she's got the list for me 3 times a week, right?
Yep.
If I don't do that, if I don't give her that 15 minutes, she's going to be stuck. Right? Eventually, they're going to be stuck. They need that guidance. And sometimes I get busy, and so she removed her meeting to allow me to do other things. And we go back to saying, don't remove that meeting, because that meeting, it's super important, because if you can help me, I am freer. Like I've got free time, right? If we get stuck, then I have to jump in and reply to emails, and then it's not good. So that consistency is vital.
So how does that daily kind of cadence look like? I know you mentioned you catch up with your VA 3-4 times a week.
Yes.
Is there some sort of daily cadence, like first 30 days or first 60 days? You reckon that when somebody joins it, we should catch up every day for
Look, how I think is this, right? So let's say that we have to do a task. So let's say that a task is onboarding a new client. So I say, okay, we got a new client, we need to onboard it. I would jump on a Zoom call with my VA, my EA, to do it with her or him, right? So what I mean by that is that we want the EA to see exactly what we're doing, do it together, They will record that call. They will go away, create a process from it. So we don't have to do SOPs. They will do it. Then the next time they will onboard a next client, we'll jump on another call. Now the EA will do the task. We will watch them, right? It sounds like time, but before we had to do it anyway, right? So might as well do it together. So we do it together like that. If the EA didn't do any mistake, everything was good, our process was good, then it's good. The EA can continue to do the task on next time. But if there was some tweaks and edits and things, because sometimes there is variables and things like that, I would recommend let's do another one. The next time there is an onboarding, let's do it together again. I would prefer to do a couple of times extra together until the point that I go, you do it better than me now. Like, this is so good. Because sometimes, I don't know you, but sometimes I am rushing and I skip a few things because I don't have time. If they have a process, they will follow it better than us.
Absolutely.
I would like to do it with them until the point that I go, you got this. All right, this task is yours. Thank you so much. I can move on to something else. So that's how I prefer to delegate. Be able to do it together until the point that they're like, you got it. No
so
problem.
basically, sort of starting step is kind of daily cadence, if possible. You reckon is okay, good. I think the other thing is some people might say that, hey, I don't have that many list of things to do initially or can't think of it. Yes. Do I need to hire somebody full-time?
Look, you don't. The thing is, you don't. You can start 20 hours a week, which is 4 hours a day.
Is that the minimum requirement?
For us, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We recommend, absolutely. The reason being is because when we had people doing less, we had a 10-hour package in the past. And what happened with the 10-hour package is that the expectation of people was the VA would do 20-hour a week, right? You meet with the VA for an hour. They've got only an hour of doing now because they spend an hour talking with the client. So now they only have an hour. Then what happened is that the hour of day, like when you get started on something and then you have to stop, the day after, it takes you half an hour to just get your head around where you were yesterday.
True.
So cutting that to 10 hours, it's just a waste of time. So we completely removed that. And actually clients that move from 10 to 20, they're like, I can't believe I was trying to get 10 hours a day. Like, it's just not feasible, not possible. So 20 hours, I think, is the minimum. The other thing is that I say is depends on how busy is someone. So I prefer to have a virtual assistant or an EA doing nothing but available for me than having someone that is only 4 hours a day. And then I had a meeting in the morning. Her shift is in the morning. I come at 1 o'clock. I need something. She's not there.
Yeah.
Until the day after for her to do it. Guess what? The type of person I am, I will just get it done. And so it's a pity because when you don't have someone available the 8 hours, then it's still a lot on us. And so we don't get the full experience of having someone that's got our back. And that's what the whole point of this is, right? To value ourselves enough to say, I deserve someone there 8 hours to support me, to help me, regardless if they got full 8 hours. But guess what, Jag?
Yeah.
They usually do. It's us that we think that we don't, but they usually do, especially because they can start to do business development. They can start to do so much, right?
Absolutely.
I've never seen a VA that sits around and do nothing. Actually, we have VAs that sometimes run out of tasks and they go to the client and they say, hey, I've done all the things that you want me to do. I don't have anything else. I was thinking to start this project for you to help you in the business, but do you have anything else as urgent? And the client sometimes like, really? Oh yeah, of course, take this. Right? So it's important to build that type of relationship where the beauty part of it is that you feel that someone is in it with you.
That's right. I think that's a big thing. Just feeling it or having somebody working along with you and helping you with things matters the most because most of the time, and I'm going to talk about on behalf of the entire tribe in our world, that we kind of are really good operators in somebody else's business, but we suck at in our world. Like we don't design ourselves to do or have any sort of help because for such a long period of time, we've been kind of living in this bubble where we believed that everything around us is we need to look after. And we need to take control of this because we got paid for it, right? And think of that is because we got paid for it and that's what we do for a living. We go out in somebody else's business, we fix things. We kind of don't think that somebody else is available to do that for us.
And look, the thing is this, right? It might take time for them to become as close as, and not, they're not expected to be as good. You need to train them to be as
True,
good as you.
true.
So at the end of the day, follow the process, your everything that you've done so far, and it create a system out of what you do naturally. Because sometimes we know how to do it, but I just do it. But there is always that we're following subconsciously in our brain, and the way is to extrapolate that process and create an SOP from it.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty good. Look, Francesca, thank you for joining me. Had such a, I think a lot of people will say that eye-opening kind of conversation, because this is a huge part of our world which people haven't actually kind of taken care of. So this call is going to be really useful for a lot of people. Before we go, what are some of the URLs you have, some of the website, if people want to get in touch with you, and the last sort of things you want to mention and how you might be able to help them?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a website called empoweringvirtualsolution.com. In there, they can get all the support, and they can find my book, The Power of Delegation. So they can start from downloading these or purchasing these, the hard copy. And I will start to give some insights of like what are the things that you can delegate and how. But just to touch on before we go, sorry, I don't know if we got a couple of minutes. I noticed that in some people that, like, my husband and I, we just did my partner and I, we just did a huge renovation. And what happened is that sometimes you're dealing with like certifiers or people like that, and they like take weeks and weeks to reply to you, and you're thinking, you need a VA, you need a EA, you need someone to, like, you're letting people down by trying to do everything on your own. And that's something that we need to remind ourselves. Like, getting a EA is not just because we want one, is because the business needs one for us to serve our clients, our people in a way that they deserve. So that's just a little thing in there. So we run a conference once a year as well in Brisbane for business owners to really understand that and really give them tools to be able to scale the business while they delegate things that are not as urgent. And so we go through all of that, which is a beautiful place for us to really educate people on value their time back and spend time with the family rather than spend time doing bookkeeping, right?
Awesome. Thank you, Francesca. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much, Jag. Have a good one.